Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Zen Lounge. I have a awesome video planned for you today. I'm going to be talking about a brand new project called WYND Dao. This project is in the cosmos. It's currently built on Juno Network, but as you watch this video, you're going to see how it's going to expand into something much bigger. Why I believe in this project? You guys know me. I'm a big believer of the cosmwasm. Talk about the cosmwasm all the time, and the founder, the father of the cosmwasm, is the visionary of WYND Dao. So that's one of the reasons he's one of the OG developers in the Cosmos. There was Jaquan, Ethan Buckman, and according to Ethan Frey, he was the third guy. So he's an OG in the Cosmos. He's built and deployed the cosmwasm, which is amazing in my opinion. And now he's the visionary of WYND Dao. What's unique about WYND Dao is it's actually a DAO now. So it's in the hands of the stakers. So even though he's the visionary behind it, the stakers control the future of the protocol. So anybody that gets WYND Dao, the Juno stakers were airdrop WYND Dao tokens back in May. So we were airdropped that token back in May, and now it's available on the secondary market. You could purchase it on a WYND Dao by swapping Atom, Juno, or any of your favorite Cosmos projects for WYND tokens and be a part of this DAO and basically govern the future of this protocol. So WYND Dao is an innovative multi-protocol DAO that harvests the best of DeFi to fund positive real-world environmental impact. 25% of the fees generated with these protocols will go to an environmental DAO investing in projects, spearheading actions to improve environment. Delegating WYND tokens will give you a voice in the future of this unique Cosmos project. This is based on the wonderful work of DAO, along with custom staking reward module of our design. Staking is now possible to earn rewards and most importantly, participate in governance votes to guide the protocol. So if you're staking to the WYND Dao, so you go to app.winddao, all the links will be in the description below. You can stake. And depending on how long you stake, depending on how vested you are in the project, depending on how much governance you get. You could also vote on all the different proposals that are on chain when you stake. And there's also gauges that basically you vote on where you want. Right now, the main product of WYND Dao is a DEX on Juno, cosmwasm based DEX. And you could see there's all these pools, right? So there's WYND USDC 674%. So I had a post the other day saying collecting my daily DeFi rewards with my morning coffee, and a bunch of people were saying make a video how to please. See right here. Well, this is what I do when I first wake up. I'm going into Cosmos. I'm going into Kepler. Let me shift gears real quick. So if you see Cosmos chains are proof of stake. So when you stake your Cosmos coin, whether it's Juno, you're getting 34%. You have Osmosis getting around 23%, Cosmos Hub 21%. And that's 24/7. So you're able to collect rewards, compound it into your stake, or you're able to take those rewards, reinvest into Cosmos, or just take profits, whatever you want. You have the freedom. But those rewards are coming in all day. And same with, this is another way to get rewards. So you're able to be a liquidity provider on something like WYND DEX. And there's ways of liquidity mine. So you provide liquidity. Let's say you go half Juno, half WYND token, you're earning 252% yield. And that's coming in on a daily basis. You could then take your WYND tokens and stake it to the DAO and earn more governance. And basically what you could do is go to these gauges and vote on where you want the WYND tokens to be sent. So right now, the people, the stakers are voting, they want 26% of their weekly rewards to go to WYND Juno. The next is WYND USDC. 11% want WYND Atom. But then there's Juno Atom, there's Juno USDC, there's all types of pools. You have to do your own research on what being a liquidity provider means, what impermanent loss means before you ever enter a liquidity pool. So make sure you educate yourself on that first. But this is how you're going to be able to start earning passive income. And when you find a brand new DEX in Cosmos, they usually offer high rewards. Just be safe. Make sure you educate yourself on the risk of entering a liquidity pool. So you could see on the weekly chart, I've been loading up full transparency. I've been loading up around 20 cents. Every time it's around 20 cents, I'm loading up, doing phenomenal. The chart looks great, sitting at 37 cents. There's only the tokenomics are great in my opinion. Do your own research there. But it's one of the WYND Dao will continue to innovate in Cosmos DeFi. They're excited to announce protocol-owned liquidity. So they have a unique uh, product called protocol-owned liquidity. I'll put this in the description below. So now I'm going to be reading from the documentation from WYND Dao. It says, "Welcome to WYND Dao. WYND Dao is an innovative multi-protocol DAO that harvests the best of DeFi to fund positive real-world environmental impact. It's based upon the WYND token, which was launched on June in late May of 2022 in a community fair drop. On top of this, we build an innovative governance model to provide intelligence guidance to this living system. This is based on the wonderful work of DAO, along with a custom staking reward module of our design. This DAO shall launch multiple sustainable DeFi protocols on Juno and beyond. Staking derivatives are currently under construction, but many more will also be coming shortly, guided by the decision of WYND Dao." This is the paragraph that gets me really excited. "Notably, these protocols will not only run on Juno, but over multiple blockchains that support cosmwasm. All protocols will have the same governance contract, the WYND Dao on Juno, which can adjust the protocols on multiple chains. This WYND Dao will also receive the revenue from various protocols it deploys on Juno as well as other IBC-enabled chains." So that's big. It's going to be multi-interchain protocol. Speaking of revenue, this is where the DeFi aspect comes in. So this is what makes it revolutionary, guys. The revenue from various protocols doesn't go all to WYND Dao. Instead, it is collected in a revenue sharing contract, which sends 75% to the WYND Dao treasury and 25% to a special sub-DAO that manages environmental grants. There'll be an environmental sub-DAO anointed by the main WYND DAO, whose job is to find valid projects to support, evaluate their potential, and distribute this portion of the rewards to innovative, high-impact environmental projects. The WYND DAO will provide high level of guidance on types of initiatives to focus on, but the committee will be empowered to review and select particular projects of interest. Altogether, you see how WYND Dao is the center of a growing web of interconnected protocols, funneling revenue to good causes, making money while helping the planet. Truly a win-win for all involved." And this is what they name in their paper, the refi vision, what they think is going to make this revolutionary. And I have a clip after this I'll share with you guys. And this clip will share this is also what they believe is going to help protect them against regulators. If a portion of this DeFi protocol's revenue is going to help the world become rejuvenated and help heal farms and planets, whatever, then the regulators will look like some assholes if they come after them, right? Like Wall Street doesn't do this, but this community project that's governed by this DAO is, so it'll look really bad. I'll show you the clip. But let's go to why WYND is revolutionary. They want to make the world work for 100% of humanity in the shortest possible time through spontaneous cooperation without ecological offense or disadvantage of anyone. WYND strongly believes and is committed to building a better, healthy world with the current technology, web native scale, and building infrastructure tools and services around that to support and enhance the entire ecosystem. This enables everyone to have some learning and role in contributing to a better world rather than just limiting it to an individual benefit. So WYND Dao is basically looking for people that have the same vision, that want to get involved in helping make the world better, creating win-wins where we could help the planet become better, we could help ourselves become better by staking, earning rewards, earning incentives by providing liquidity, and yeah, it's a win-win. This is WYND Dao, exciting project. You could follow them on Twitter. They have cool memes. And this is some of the stuff I do right now for earning daily rewards. This is what I do first thing when I wake up is collect my rewards. Now, enjoy this next video but think about the environment right now. Think about eggs. I go to the grocery store and I can't even find an egg anymore. So there definitely needs to be some work on rejuvenating the planet. Hopefully we can put a proposal on WYND Dao to save eggs, make eggs great again. So I'm not trying to be paying $10 a dozen anymore. So everybody, peace. give me a bit of background and then over to also Jake, and then we talk about WYND Dao.
Definitely. So yeah, my name is Ethan. I think Cosmos OG. I started January 2017, probably the third dev after Ethan Buckman and Jake Wong.
Nice.
I built the Cosmos Decay, early versions of that, wrote IBC paper back then, went on to build a lot of other protocols, protocol stuff. Anyway, I'm, since 3 years, people know me more as father of cosmwasm. So I'm the head of Configo. We've written cosmwasm, WASM-D, we maintain cosmjs as well. A lot of people use for your front-end tooling, a relayer, TS relayer, and a number of other open source tools. And we've really heavily focused on making infrastructure the best infrastructure possible for the Cosmos ecosystem.
Nice.
And I was red pilled by IBC by Jay in 2016, and I can't go back.
Where are you based? Because a lot of the things are also happening in Berlin. Are you in Berlin?
I lived in Berlin for many, many years.
Okay.
I'm living in Madrid right now.
Madrid?
But yeah, I spent many, many years in Berlin.
There you go. Cool. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Jake?
I'm Jake. I've started a couple projects.
A couple of small ones, right?
You might have heard of Juno Network. You might have heard of Stargaze. Maybe you've heard of Dao. These things are pretty cool. Yeah, now I build things with the stuff that you build.
Awesome.
And these are great tools, and it's allowed us to make some like pretty awesome products. And I'm very, 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 very excited about the future of interchain protocols like WYND and Dao, and I'm really excited about interchain DAOs like Juno.
Very cool.
Definitely.
Can you give a quick intro of what WYND Dao is?
Yeah, so WYND Dao is WYND Dao.
I asked you also before, like, how do I say it correctly, right?
So it's a WYND. We want to make a different spelling, it's like funky. WYND Dao. It's just got launched. So basically, WYND Dao is evolution of a concept of a multi-chain native DAO, a multi-protocol, multi-chain, a DAO with a purpose. The shared purpose is refi. So it's I think trying to combine the best of it learned from governance, from IBC, from DeFi over the time, and really putting up one solid thing. So it just launched. Actually, tokens airdropped to all the Juno, Osmo, and region holders since like end of May until end of August. We did an airdrop, a very long airdrop. It's over now, unfortunately, and we've launched the DAO, so voting is open, staking is open, it's going on, and we're preparing to launch a number of protocols with it in the future, interchain native protocols. So that's what it is right now. One thing I think is very different, special about it, beyond other things. So like I think we understand how to build DeFi, we know how to build interchain protocols. We're building amazing governance actually built on your tools, so it's very pleasing for me to be able to take other people's tools infrastructure and build my other project on top. So I mean, this layer, everyone's building on top of it, now I can build on top of their tools as well. So that's really, really inspiring to be able to use that.
I think people should be more hyped for WYND. I know a little bit more about it. I'm not gonna like dump all the alpha, but like you're building some pretty cool interchain DeFi protocols. Like that's hype. I don't know. I think everyone's like, what is it? There's green stuff. It's an airdrop, great. You know, I think actually people are gonna be like more stoked than I think they're gonna be like actually really pleased.
Maybe we should quickly talk about what people could expect.
Yeah.
What's happening in WYND, and then also the base layer of DAO, right? For sure.
So sorry, I got a little sidetracked there. The basically what we have is we will be launching multiple DeFi protocols. I want to get too much of the details because we were going to launch staking derivatives, and we might still launch those. We are discussing this right now. We are planning this stuff out, and I spent the last 2 months explaining how our project works, and then I found almost all the words in my tweets and my podcast on slides the last 3 days. So I'm not sure I'm going to give all the alpha of exactly what we're launching in order, because if I do that, like someone else will show up on the roadmap tomorrow. But no, just trust it. It's a lot of stuff, all these standard tools, and we've basically saying since day one, well-defined protocols. We're not inventing the wheel. We're saying looking at stuff that's been proven on Ethereum, proven on other ecosystems, and these are basic building blocks. One, they can capture revenue, and two, they compose other people, compose well with other protocols. People can build on top of them, right? We're not trying to do everything, but you want people that you compose on them aside, and if people allow them to build on top of them. We have a partnership with YieldMos, which can automate a lot of cool stuff on top of it, and they can like build other things and strategies on top of our protocols. So we're really open for that. The other thing I think differentiates us beyond like saying we're multi-protocol, multi-chain, is our focus. The focus is regeneration. The focus of WYND Dao is to make money and save the world at the same time, or help the world, not save the world. No one can save the world, but we're trying to help the world, do our part. So all these protocols will have revenue. Every protocol you launch, if staking derivatives, if you have a revenue stream there that goes back to DAO. 25% of that goes directly to donations for environmental projects. High impact, angel funding, innovative projects, right? We say, okay, we're not just going to plant trees. We're going to go people that are going to like come with new ways of planting trees, new ways of capturing carbon,
Yeah.
new ways of restoring ecosystems, and like we're going to angel fund them. We're going to help these projects grow and try to incubate that. And the other 75%, of course, goes to the protocol, goes to the DAO. So it's still a lot. So if you have like 4 protocols, 75% of 4 protocols is a lot of money. Like it's not.
Sure.
People are worried sometimes. I'm giving money away, and the bigger it gets, the more money is going to help the environment.
Nice.
So the real point is here is you can use it, you can make money off it, and you can help the environment.
You know what I think is really genius about this strategy is because the regulators are coming for us, and this is going to make them seriously look like dicks if they like come after like, something like this. And I think we have to be like defensive, and controlling the narrative around this stuff is actually super important. Building DeFi protocols that are also like helping the environment. Well, guess what? Wall Street doesn't do that. You gotta like we're in a point now in crypto where we have to fight for the future we want, and the narrative is extremely important. And so as we're building these like DeFi protocols, like the fact that we are like actually contributing to like solving some of the biggest problems facing humanity, I think it's a good win. And like as we get into fights with jurisdictions or regulators, as we try to like work through all these new technologies, like as a human society, I think that's actually going to be pretty important.
Yeah,
so,
got your point.
Yeah.
So if I get it right, to summarize it, so it's basically a protocol that enables to focus on DeFi, right? And there's a DAO behind, and you're trying to capture DeFi as much as possible and also do good with it, right?
Yeah.
In terms of if somebody stakes WYND, 75% goes to stakers, right? And 25% goes to good. Do you have like already collaborations with different projects in terms of I don't even try to say that word, but positive green projects that you can
We have
talk
people
about?
pitching them, and so at the end of the day, I can't choose anything. I'm a visionary of this project. I don't control the project. I'm helping this. I've put personal money into getting this launched because I believe in it, and now the DAO is controlling it, right?
Okay.
So they're handing over function. I'm like part of anyway, I'm basically the visionary and advisor and the creator of it, but like we're handing over the power to the DAO. The DAO decides. I've talked to other people, and they've pitched projects. I think a very interesting project. And I want to pitch these. I'll present them to the DAO. And the DAO will have to choose which ones to make partnerships, and then we start making them. And we want to have revenue before it actually makes sense. But in the next month, we're looking at that.
Okay.
Who's going to pick these projects? How we're voting on this stuff? Those discussions are very important to come up with. Some ideas you have. There's someone talking about restoring the peat bogs in Ireland, which are super carbon capture things and ways of doing that, which is a lot of working communities, so they actually understand that. There's duckweed capture in northern England. They're growing duckweed, which is like there's a plague plant, but they capture all stuff. They can turn animal feed, and they can use it carbon and save landscape. There's some people talking to that are doing like using sound measurements to measure biodiversity. So if you capture audio and then use machine learning on it, you can count how many different animal species are available in this area, and not just forest cover, but biodiversity, which is really critical. If you want to have metric-based restoration of ecosystems, you need remote sensing of biodiversity. And so they're trying to do this project. So I think it's a wonderful idea. I'd like to learn more about it, pose people that are experts to look at it and say, if this makes sense, they can do it. It'll be a great thing. I propose to the DAO to fund it, because that will enable a whole other generation beyond that. Then we could later say, okay, we want to fund this project, and now we have a good metric to measure the success.
Yeah.
So,
Where do people go to pitch stuff?
Right now, Commonwealth.
Okay.
So we've just opened a Commonwealth site.
Nice.
We have WYNDDAO.com, app.WYND.com to vote on it. But please don't just make proposals. Like, people have been using it. We had no forum on day one, so everyone used basically our voting platform as to make proposals, like throw ideas on there to discuss stuff. But now we opened a Commonwealth, like day 2. It took it a day, right? But so the Commonwealth Forum is a place to have discussions, long form discussions, and when people kind of get ideas and discuss it, put it on chain. So I think that's a great way to get feedback on it. It's actually very, very good discussion already, valuable discussion on how governance should work, what rules and what kind of social norms you want for governance, which I think is very beautiful.
We're working on an improved drafting flow for DAO actually.
Okay.
Awesome.
So, like the process. Wow, that was a.
I hope that probably they hear it also. It's like
thunder, lightning.
It's crazy.
But yeah, like in DAO V2 actually we have this whole new proposal flow system, so you can customize everything about how a proposal ultimately comes up for vote. Like maybe it has to go through a drafting process, maybe there's like a sub DAO that has to approve it to go up to a vote, maybe it has to meet a certain deposit threshold. All that stuff will be like very customizable with DAO V2.
Maybe you can talk a bit about DAO itself, because we jumped into this. Totally. You're an expert itself, so if I get it right, so DAO is basically having here the base layer for WYND Dao to work, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We
Can
use your contract, you build on top of their stuff, and you customize it a bit, and they're feeding all of our customizations back into their platform, which is like growing exponential speed.
Yeah, DAO is pretty cool. DAO.zone, go check it out. You can make a DAO today for less than a cent. You can launch a meme token. But yeah, DAO, we're on a mission to make the most powerful DAO tooling in the world.
Nice.
And it's interchain DAO tooling that lives here in the cosmos.
Yes.
We support like a bunch of the standard features, things like multi-sigs if you've ever used Gnosis Safe. So we have membership-based DAOs. But these membership-based DAOs can go to hundreds of thousands of members.
Okay.
We have token-based DAOs. We have NFT-based DAOs, which are coming with DAO V2. So right now we have DAO V1, but we're really hoping to get DAO V2 at least out the door for people to try it next month, and then we're getting it all audited again. So that's another great thing about DAO is we get our contracts audited, so
Totally.
you can put money in your DAO treasury and be relatively assured that it's going to be like, pretty safe. But we support features that no other DAO tooling has. So DAO V2 will have some nice UI for interchain accounts. If you have a DAO on Juno and you want to LP your treasury on Osmosis, or stake your Atom on the Cosmos Hub, or trade NFTs on Stargaze, the great thing about cosmwasm is it's got this built-in support for IBC, so that makes it really easy for us to build these kind of features. We have DAO run validators. You'll be able to run a validator as a DAO, which is I'm really excited for. We have sub DAOs, that you can create these really complex hierarchies of basically you might have the large DAO that's controlled by token holders like WYND Dao. At WYND Dao, you might have a bunch of different sub teams that maybe have a team that's picking the environmental projects.
Exactly, a grants committee that actually is focused and set by the parent to choose them.
You might have a team that's in charge of deploying all the contracts across the interchain. That's another thing you can do with DAO that you can't do with a lot of Ethereum DAO tools. You can actually deploy smart contracts.
But that's the interesting part. I think a lot of people need to understand, even if right now the stuff that you're building is on Juno, it doesn't limit it to Juno if I get it right? And that's the next step also for WYND Dao in general.
These are interchain protocols. And if you saw my talk at Cosmoverse, which you should all
I linked it down below.
You should link it down below because I think it's really important. We're moving into a new paradigm, the interchain paradigm. Guess what? Block space is everywhere. Cosmwasm, it's going to be everywhere. The idea that we can try to make people sign stuff and not launch their protocol on Juno and not put it everywhere else, it's not that. It's like trying to hold water in your hand. It's going to slip through.
Yeah.
So instead, we just have to think a little bit differently. We have to embrace being an interchain DAO, and Juno is well positioned to do so because we are the most radical interchain DAO there is. We don't even have a legal organization. It is literally we're the most DAO first community in crypto probably. And so what we're doing is we're launching new protocols like DAO. Where do you think those DAO tokens might go? We're going to be launching other chains soon too, which is really a crazy idea. We are launching chains that will also be where are those tokens going to go? They're going to go to the Juno treasury and ultimately to Juno stakers as dividends.
Yeah.
The cool thing about that is if we launch another chain, for example, and we have a large amount of tokens in the Juno DAO treasury, we can stake those tokens on the other chain through interchain accounts. And now Juno stakers are not only getting Juno rewards, but they're getting other rewards as well.
Nice.
Yeah. So I think this vision was a little bit crazy for a lot of people. They had to think about it, but a lot of people are really excited now, and I'm really excited because DAO and WYND are both really big interchain protocols that are choosing to also make Juno their home. That's where we're launching our DAOs. That's where we're launching our tokens. But the idea is the protocols will spread throughout everywhere in the cosmos.
Yeah.
But that makes them more valuable, which means the tokens that the Juno holders are getting are going to be more valuable.
Yeah.
And because Juno is the birthplace of these projects, they're getting a much larger share.
Got it.
Juno holders will get more DAO tokens than any other community.
How do we get the mainstream, to understand this new concept? Because they're radically different, right?
I think we just have to do it. That's
Okay.
the only way. You just do it. Once we so we have a chain that's going to launch pretty soon.
Okay.
I
Drop the
guess
alpha, so it's fine.
Alpha Eve. It's called Eve.
Okay, there you go.
Nice. Yeah.
That's a good one.
And it's actually one of many. We're going to be launching a lot of experimental cosmwasm chains to really push the technology forward.
Nice.
And like, we're not going to pretend that Juno as it is now, or that the Cosmos SDK as it is now, is the perfect, most end-all be-all technology. No, we're going to like keep innovating and make it to the point where it's like just cosmwasm. My goal is make it replace the EVM. We're gonna it's gonna take probably some years, but it's doable. Like the amount of, if you look at the quality of applications that are being built with Cosmos, and you came from Terra too.
Yeah.
Like it's great user experience. You can build these really powerful applications. And what's important is I think you can also build these interchain protocols that like natively use IBC. Like it's possible to build things like ZK like interchain accounts, or like we actually already have some like zero knowledge protocols that are being implemented in Cosmos. I think we're going to start seeing like a lot more innovation and so the Juno Interchain DAO, that's the TLDR. How does this provide value to Juno stakers? We're going to like launch a bunch of really cool shit and we're going to give it to the Juno community.
Yeah, so. Which I mean, Juno from the beginning was already about fair distribution, right? In terms of the airdrop itself. How do we get more also developers into this? I guess maybe we have a shortage, or how do you see this topic?
I think we have actually pretty quality developers. Like, I actually think we're doing really great on developers, and we have cosmwasm coming up. We just have also Hack Juno. Hack Juno just paid out the first round of rewards, 16 projects. There were things like Juno tools, people writing guides like cosmwasm 0 to Hero, one reward. There's going to be a Twitter thread like listing the winners. Which we can maybe link below, but we're also, there's a proposal on Commonwealth to add developer incentives as well. I don't think those are going to be as big as Hack Juno because transaction fees pretty cheap. It's like less than a cent. But if like you upload a smart contract and you're getting a percentage of the transaction fees, that's great. Really excited to be exploring that whole design space with the community of like how do we want to be incentivizing like smart contract developers. And we're doing hackathons and things like cosmwasm. In many ways, I think cosmwasm is new, but like we've actually attracted like a lot of developers because of Juno, and like that's why we have amazing things like DAO. And maybe there's like a couple other things that are in the works. Like, we actually have one of the strongest developer communities for cosmwasm, at least in the Cosmos ecosystem. So. And one of the things I'm really excited about is we're launching a sub-DAO called the Juno Growth Fund. Okay. And that's designed to invest in projects on behalf of the community. There's a expected return there. So like, when the Growth Fund invests in projects, could get some more WYND tokens or whatever. But like the whole point is that like, these are projects that are like going to provide value back to Juno. And like, I think those kind of funding opportunities are going to be a really big attractor. And we've actually been, especially at Cosmoverse, I've been talking with a lot of private investors. They want to like match every deal that the Juno Growth Fund does because we have one of the most passionate and active communities like in Cosmos. Like I think it's Osmosis #1 in terms of activity and Juno #2. And that's really, really cool because like when the community invests in a project, when they have ownership over it, they're going to be stoked about it. They're going to be willing to try it. They're going to have like, you're going to have like tens of thousands of people that are going to like experiment with it. It's like, and then like private investors, like they want to tap into that excitement. It's like, I think we're building a really cool and diverse funding ecosystem around Juno. We have dev grants for like open source work, but we're also like developing like this Juno Growth Fund and stuff like that to make sure projects that maybe need to like raise a little bit of money to like get off the ground like have what they need, and that's just going to attract more and more developers.
Got it. I was quickly checking the notes in terms of kind of where are we going with this, and one of the points I would like to hear your take on is like we're right now in a bear market, but I guess the mainstream interest is not there anymore as it was before, and now you are talking about kind of investments. And how is it for you developing something? It's like, are you concerned because of the situation right now? Are you kind of saying, we don't care, this is way forward, we believe in this, kind of, because I think for me also, not being a coder, but now being very close to you guys, seeing what you're doing, it's like, I see here nobody caring about that we're in a bear market, the ideas are clear, and it's a way forward, right? How do you see that?
Yeah, I mean, you have to keep going. I've been through a few bear markets, and it's harder getting money investing there, and so a lot of it is, if you have a random idea, you can't earn 50 million on it and then hope it pans out, right? Like you actually have to ship. So it's like, it's harder, but if you're serious what you're doing and you plan, you still get money. There's always something there, right? It's like a little harder. So basically, I think it weeds out the people that are just in there for the quick bucks, the Ponzi's, whatever. And it's just people that are, okay, like there's no easy money anymore, but anyone that's actually working has a real idea. There's still money there. It's just you have to work harder for it. I think it weeds out a bit. And these are developers. So one thing at Confio, so beyond launching WYND Dao, I'm also the head of Confio, which builds cosmwasm, I said earlier. We're also building tooling. One of our big pushes, so a year ago came out there in Lisbon, like the first Cosmoverse, and saying, dude, we've got like, you know, the fourth, I think, Terra, Secret, I think Fetch.ai was out there, and Bolstrom from Cyber Congress just launched, and she was about to launch like a month later. So we're like, Cosmos is coming, you all should get cosmwasm, right? And in May, I was like, okay, we think we've got 20 chains now. And now I'm like, I don't know, because I hear people think, oh, Bert Finance is launching a cosmwasm chain, this other one's launching a cosmwasm chain, they're launching 3 shared security cosmwasm chains. I don't even know how many there are. I don't know who's using it. People ask me, I don't know, I can list you 12 chains off the top of my head, but there's more all the time. So it's growing, it's growing, it's growing. There's huge homes there. There's a block space everywhere that runs cosmwasm, and lots of niche communities. And we're pushing for devs now. So people like, there are live devs, they're amazing devs. And we're working on an academy, we've launched that also 2 days ago. Cosmos Academy have really video training, written tutorials, and one-on-one mentoring, not one-on-one, group mentoring, live mentoring 2 times a week. So you can come in and ask your questions. You have, like, you know, go TAs in a university class. Really methodically explaining how to build really solid, best practice Cosmos and contracts. You know, there are a lot of tutorials explaining how to get started, understand it, and this is going to go through all of it so you really understand the depth of it. And I've had very, very good experience not looking for Solidity devs and teaching them cosmwasm, but find Rust devs that want to get in blockchain. And they come in there, they have 3, 5, 6 years of Rust experience, and you teach them cosmwasm, they pick that up in like, I don't know, 2 weeks, and they just get going.
It takes less than 2 weeks.
They pick it up fast, but then actually they're like super like going, and then like, I got a bunch of people that are building tooling out with that. And so some building stuff, building new tools, and this, and it's like, you get these, and they see it, they love the SDK. They're like, wow, this amazing APIs, I love the APIs, I love the design. They get super excited about it. It's so clean code. There's a lot of time for clean code, and inspires them. It really attracts these high-level developers that are like, oh, I appreciate that, and I can use this great APIs to build my stuff on top of it. So I've been really working with people like that, and then I teach them blockchain. So Confio, we've been hiring a lot of people outside the ecosystem. We're not just fighting the same devs from one chain to another chain. Like, let's bring a bunch of Rust devs and teach them blockchain. And they get up there and they get excited about this. They see their stuff out there and they say, hey, I'm building stuff, and people are using open source, and they're coming back to me, and they know me on GitHub, they know me on Discord, and we have this huge Discord community. I think like the chat.cosmos.com, our Discord is amazing. Like, we were doing ourselves, like helping people answering questions, and it just got too many people. And like, sometimes they jump in there, sometimes not there, I don't know. There are 4 team members that jump in there and help stuff. There's also like 5 to 10 other people that regularly, that work on various projects. Some on Terra, some on Stargaze, some on Juno, right? There's some people from Mars Protocol there. There are a number of Terra people there actually doing cool stuff. And they were all like, and some secret people there, they were talking about like, oh, I have a question, like how do you do this? And someone gives you an answer, someone gives you an answer. They explain stuff, they debate things. You know, sometimes they debate things, they know actually this is probably the better practice, or that's, you're right, this guy is right. Like, you know, in terms of what the best practice of doing something is. But no, it's cool, there's answers. I see people answer questions super fast that I didn't know the answer to. Like in WASM integration and stuff, I'm like, amazing. And like, I think it's a really, really helpful community, and developers want to help each other build. There's space. Like we have like 30 I don't know how many blockchains now. There's space to build everywhere, right? And so people want to get more devs building stuff. We're trying to build these devs up there, and then the interchange stuff. Like, okay, you build this on one chain, I build this chain, and then we're just taking the barriers down. So it's like Europe. If you think of Europe back like in the 19th century, they're all at wars and have walls and control. And they're like trying to national industries. They're fighting each other all the time. They're not collaborating. EU now, they knock the barriers down there. You can transport stuff across the EU, no problem. And it's like, you have people, Spain, France, Germany, England not anymore, Ireland and Italy. They just collaborate, and companies like span 5 countries, no problem. There's merchants here, they send things here and they go here. And it's cheap, it's efficient, it's easy, right? The barrier to entry is no till. And this IBC, it's cheap, it's fast, it's easy. It makes these collaborations easy. Okay, it's a little harder than doing your neighbor in the same town, but it's not much different really. In EU, like shipping across Germany or shipping to Poland, right? It's the same price basically. And the same thing, we're making IBC, like you have to think a little better, you have to prepare a little more. We're going towards that, we're building tools to make it easier. And WYND Dao and DAO are building things out there. I think WYND Dao for me is applying all this theory. I've been building teaching lessons. I've been building examples. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna apply it in production. You're gonna see how it can be done. You can see this architecture, I'll just build this stuff. Like, I'm architecting the team. I've got a team of amazing devs. They're building stuff out there, and then people see it and go, oh, wow, you can do that. And then they go, okay, I'll take your ideas, I'll add something to it, I'll modify, I'll apply it to my protocol. And they don't see like examples, they see real hardcore development architecture. They say, okay, that's doing it. DAO is launching validating nodes and launching subchains controlled by a DAO. And then people are like, wait, what the is that, right? Like, and then then when they get it, they see it. This is, you just see it, right? They see it, they get it, like, oh, that's powerful. How can I apply that to my project, right? And then this gets out there. And we can build, like, there's IBC, ICS20 to move tokens. Interchain accounts is coming out-ish to control things in a generic way. There's interchain security. We're building mesh security here we should talk into.
Oh yeah,
and
mesh security. The
crazy
real,
stuff.
Real interchain security.
The most important piece for me is like when I listen to you guys, the passion that you put in there, right, and pushing it forward.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so cool because I mean, it's the whole week here, kind of truly being so close to you guys developing it and making it happen. So if I ask you, like, what are you most excited for the next 12 months? Juno is more or less 12 months old. It's crazy just to think about it, right? I remember when I was at Cosmoverse last year. So what are you most excited for 12 months? And let's start with WYND Dao. And what's next?
Cool. So I think I'm excited in general about Cosmos, the community. It's been growing and growing. It's beautiful people here. It's every time I come to the conference, the last time it was getting bigger and better. And like, I don't know, people know each other more. There's more people coming. It's like, keep this good vibe. It's cool. It's like, I don't know. It's a good vibe. So
it reminds me of early Ethereum.
I'm looking forward to keep growing and collaborating. People just like working together. So it's a beautiful vibe here. Everybody's doing their own thing, sometimes competing, but generally we're all in the same boat together. And so that same boat together, I really want to see this go up. So the interchain it's there. We have it now. IBC is live. ICS20 proved the map of zones, and now we have cosmwasm, IBC cosmwasm. We have 20, 30 chains to roll out on, and we can build new protocols. Crazy. It's with that, I see the two biggest things is basically this interchain DeFi protocols, explaining that, like the mind-blowing examples of the decks. Like, build that stuff, show people how that works, show how it scales, and then they can like see the stuff. Like oh wait, whoa, that's a whole new paradigm. They see, they use it, they get a feel for it, they start improving it, they start figuring out how to make their own forks of their own ideas. And that's, I think, opened a whole new series where people are thinking, oh, I'm not launching on chain, I'm launching on the Cosmos.
Nice.
The Cosmos is a space to colonize, right? Like, and you have multiple things and multiple chains.
Would you like to call it ecosystem, or is this even fair to call it an ecosystem? You know, because it's almost beyond that.
It's the interchain.
It is.
The interchain is the new paradigm, like, deploy everywhere. It's all, the game is changing. It's not just about like one chain and we're gonna keep everything on here. No, it's like, it's all about network effects. You want to be everywhere. And this is why Juno is becoming an interchain DAO, because like the game is changing. This like
no lock-in. No lock-in.
Yeah, no lock-in. We never had IBC before. Like, you can deploy smart contracts on other chains from DAO.
Nice.
Like,
a smart contract to deploy a smart contract from chain. Like, that's crazy, right?
It goes beyond what people could even imagine, just even a year ago, right? It's just could change the game so
much.
much.
I think that like a lot of us like kind of like see the vision because we work on it like all the time. I think the wider community will eventually, as they see more examples of what it means to be an interchain protocol, or what it means to be like an interchain DAO, like it's eventually going to click. But right now it's all new and like, but I think as people see like the DeFi protocols you guys are rolling out, like, it's gonna like spur this whole, oh, that's possible. Oh, how might I do that a little bit differently? Like, and then we're gonna just see like, interchain DeFi, interchain privacy, interchain like, you know, royalties, fees, like incentives, like interchain
governance,
like,
interchain governance,
interchain shared security. Like, you know, we were talking about mesh security earlier. I hope that wasn't.
I hope it was on, because we had to re-record maybe a small part, and the part that is missing is, I think, an exciting one.
Yeah. So the other thing I was saying is governance. I think is a key point. Out here is building interchain governance. For these crazy protocols are building more and more complex protocols, you need more and more complex and secure governance. Like he was talking about, Dao was talking about, like these flows, proposal flows, controls, sub DAOs. This is what you need. You're not going to have one little DAO token voting, simple lockup controlling 5 protocols over 7 chains. Like that is just too big a thing to control. So you need a system, you need jurisdiction, you need subsidiaries. And I think it's really amazing. So governance, I think, is a future. To go along with expansion, do it safely, to do it well, you need better governance. And I'm really impressed with
interchain governance.
Interchain governance is coming now, and like it's another mind blowing. Because people are like, oh yeah, governance should do it better. Like when you have better governance and interchain native governance along interchain native protocols, I think this is going to be like yeah, this whole like chain maximum will just melt away. Like once you get it, it'll be red pilling everyone that touches the cosmos. Nice. Is like, oh fuck. Like I invested one chain, I invested actually the whole.
And you know what's also really cool about this is like these can go beyond Cosmos SDK chains. Like cosmwasm coming to Polkadot.
Yeah, Composal's launching it in a month or two.
Juno's gonna bring cosmwasm everywhere. That means like, you know, who knows? Maybe even on like Avalanche or whatever. You just bring cosmwasm to all these places, and then we can bring our protocols to all those places. Nice. And that means like all the dot liquidity can be like IBC'd over to like, you know, all the
zoned in.
Like,
yep.
No, we're gonna go everywhere, and we're gonna make the interchain link as big as possible. Yeah. Because that means there's the most opportunity that way.
It's gonna be
we
crazy
can't just
expansion.
think about our own little chains, our own little silos. It's like that was like last year. Interchain is the new paradigm.
Definitely. And with that new program and this new governance stuff, it's like really focusing on governance is key. I'm super happy because I love the idea of governance. I was like working on the governance for the Cosmos DK design for the hub back in like 2017. I think it's super important to do it well, and I think Dao does an amazing job. And I've been using that code, and we're like so happy. Like, okay, we do our staking algorithm. We have a very clear staking algorithm we want to build, and everything else just works. We plug in the proposal voting. We have their whole like thing. We can add subsidiary proposals like gauge contracts to control like the select validators. We just use it. They give a UI, it was open source, you can fork it, you can edit and customize it to have those pieces and reuse all this stuff. It's a huge complex UI, and we said we can customize our pieces of it, and the rest of it's straight out of them. And it's upstreaming and stuff just maintained, so we get the newest advantages. Our UI, our voting process is getting better and better as they get better and better. So I love that approach. I love that approach of collaboration. And with that, we want to have an official partnership. We're announcing an official partnership between WYND Dao and DAO, building DAO tooling and applying DAO tooling in real interchain problems. So it's going to be amazing, and we're doing a token swap, WYND for DAO. This is like the new way, I think, of partnerships. It's not like just announcing it. You do token swap. You have equity.
Economic
not one way.
alliances.
I'm not acquiring you, you're not acquiring me. We're making it swap alliances, like best security. We swap security. We swap tokens. We all have a piece of winning each other. And
we collaborate and help each other. Like you
Definitely.
made the awesome vesting contract, which is like we're gonna be like incorporating a lot more. It's very, very useful. Like your improvements on the staking contracts, things like gauges, like these are all like really great features that we can add to DAO.
Nice.
And like give to
it's definitely, and the ideas are not like we build our version. No, we forked out. We built our own little better governance over here. I corner we're the governance king. Like it's stupid. Let's all contribute. We all want better governance, right? Yeah. It's a base layer. It's a public good. It only works at shared scale so much. So like, no, of course we built on they built on the stuff I originally built, and they made like a much better version of that. So I'm like, that's awesome. Now I can build that. Yeah. I add my pieces. I give it back to DAO. DAO will build something else with that, and like just keeps on building, and hopefully more DAOs come back and contribute. And they bring feedback to it.
It's a great partnership as well, because you're really pushing the boundaries of interchain protocols, and that's something that we really want to like optimize for DAO. So like you're probably going to be one of the first people using DAO to deploy smart contracts on other chains.
Totally.
Nice. And I think that I'm really it's going to be great to have someone that's like actually really pushing the boundaries of the tool.
Nice.
So.
Finishing on a high, which is anyway impossible, because listening to you guys, the passion. And talking, I mean, we have never talked before. It's very lucky for me to be able to find it. I mean, we met quickly in Prague, right? And having you so close and listen to you with the passion is just truly amazing. So big thank you for pushing also the boundaries forward, be it governance, be it deployment, cosmwasm. Really cool. Big thank you also for sharing here the alpha with the token swap in the end, which I think is a big announcement. Wish you all good luck.
Some other alpha earlier.
Well, a lot of alpha in general.
DAO token. Stake your Juno.
There you go. Hashtag stake your Juno. Big thank you. I hope to talk to you soon again and to see you again. I heard that maybe the next conference is again in Europe. I hope that we see you there again, but you're in Madrid.
Yeah.
So that hopefully works
awesome.
out. Big thank you. Thank you everybody for
Thank
watching,
you all.
and see you soon again.
All right.